My name is Madison Verge. I'm going to be presenting my research over my paper that talks about the misappropriation of Native Americans in popular music in America, as well as films and entertainment in general. Not only the misappropriation, but singing red face, cultural confusion, misappropriation, imitation, different things like that. I am recording this on my cell phone, so I do have some pictures I want to show. I'm going to try to turn the camera around and see if I'm able to show pictures that way as clearly as possible. So cultural misappropriation has been something that happens in Native American, for Native American culture, identity in general, since Western times. Since the beginning of entertainment, Native Americans have always been a form of entertainment that have been very popular. There have been different identities given to Native Americans, never really considered their actual identity, just given. A popular theme was the savage Indian. The savage Indian is an Indian that is a warrior, that's mean, that is savage, that is ruthless, that is generally there to kill. This kind of identity really started from the beginning. In the film Peter Pan, which a Disney film that many of us have seen or heard of, and we know and love, that even has cultural misappropriation and even a little bit of singing red face mixed in there. So in Peter Pan, when they land at I think it's the Pickaninny tribe, I could be wrong, but they land and Peter Pan and his little posse is there. They find the Indians sitting in a circle. They're doing chants. They're wearing giant feather headdresses. The women are either young and dressed a little promiscuous and are very flirtatious, and any older women or unattractive women are doing house chores, cooking food and cleaning. For example, the chief that arrives and greets Peter Pan, he is a big macho guy, and he has a very mean look on his face. He has a large feather headdress like a Plains Indian, which is a type of Indian that was often displayed in film and song, homogenizing all Indian cultures, when really there are over 500 diverse different cultures that they do have. Here's a picture of the Native American chief from Peter Pan. I'm just going to have to turn it around. Let's see if this works. And even in this picture, he has a straight up red face. He's not a more tan complexion or a darker complexion. He is straight up red in the face, which also misappropriates and represents red face. And here is another picture that I have of other members of the Native American tribe that are in Peter Pan. And as you can see, they are a bright red color. Not only is this misrepresentative of Native Americans in general, but also very racist, which we don't expect to see in a Disney movie, or we don't really think too much of it. Another theme there is that the women were flirtatious in the movie Peter Pan. That's something that's often throughout history well known, that the Native American women are flirtatious or promiscuous. Cher did a song called Half Breed. In her song, she sings about her heritage of being Cherokee and how both sides of her heritage hate her and whatnot. And however, even though she is singing about something true in her heritage that had not really been known before, she is dressed up as a Plains Indian, large headdress of feathers and whatnot. And she's also dressed in her music video very skimpy and flirtatious. I will attach a picture here of her costume. As you can see, she's not wearing very many clothes. This also misappropriates their culture and what the women stand for and what they wear. Another thing that people probably don't think about often is in school, since kindergarten, since we're young, when we first go to daycare, Thanksgiving is a holiday that is very celebrated. Oftentimes, the first Thanksgiving is reenacted. Kids play cowboys and Indians. Kids sing songs They reenact the first Thanksgiving, and oftentimes it's not reenacted the same way that it actually happened, or the same way that the same way that it happened. So little kids often are taught that they all came together. The Native Americans cooked the food and were generous and offered their help, and that was it. And it was a nice and civil meal. Kids often sing songs like "I'm a Little Indian," which is sang to the beat of "I'm a Little Teapot." This song is actually very inappropriate with the way the lyrics begin to start, which people are taught when they're very young, and no one thinks about it as a misappropriation or a cultural confusion because that's all they've ever known and all they were taught. The song begins with "I'm a little Indian on the go. Here is my arrow. Here is my bow." That is just not actually true. Indians were not always on the go. They were on the run from the Europeans that were trying to fight them oftentimes, and that sentence really doesn't make sense. Or Native American culture, I think in the song "I'm a Little Indian," there needs to be a little bit more about the culture of Native Americans instead of just saying "I'm on the go. Here's my arrow. Here's my bow." But that is a song that is popularized by the beat of "I'm a Little Teapot," which again, those and many times that kids are, when I looked up on the internet, kids wearing or kids singing "I'm a Little Indian," many of the little kids, white, black, Mexican, Native American kids, any race, were wearing cardboard or construction paper headdresses and kind of like skirts or beads or different regalia, and again, all representing a Plains Indian. So Plains Indians really got a lot of attention. It was kind of the main culture that everyone saw Indians as in entertainment, in songs and in movies. That was often the kind of Indian that was represented. There was oftentimes that in movies or songs or TV shows that the Native American languages that were spoken were not real. I know from when we watched Real Engine, they talked about how they would sometimes just play English backwards, which again is misappropriating a culture and also ridding the language of many diverse cultures. But that also homogenizes the Indians by saying, here's their one language that they have and whatnot. Some other songs that are performed that do promote singing red face, Farden performing a song. He performed a song, and in many of his performances, he would play both the Indian and the white man. Through his performances in front of everybody, he would go back and forth depending on which parts of the song were speaking at the moment. And I think that really, a large figure that is singing back and forth about, being Indian, being the white man, the outlaw, whatever, going back and forth on stage, doing singing red face and misappropriating the culture in general. I think often, it's not that Indians don't like, or Native Americans, it's not that Native Americans don't like being a part of the entertainment part and whatnot, but it's that they're misappropriated and they're culturally confused with one stereotype. There's always a stereotype of Indians: the drunken Indian, the stupid Indian, the savage Indian. In many movies and many films, Indians are just drunk, random people who are just deadbeats. And that's a stereotype that hasn't gone away even since films first started. And part of that is because in film, that's what they portray it as. They don't usually portray Indians as their actual culture and showing the rituals that they perform and the ceremonies and things that mean a lot to them in their religion and the appropriate languages. Instead, they're homogenized to one single group of people, which is not fair. I think that hopefully over time, the Indian activist singers and different tribes and the tribes that are still out there living on the reservations will be able to hopefully shed a little light on that each Indian culture is different. And over the years, there's been so many misappropriations in Native American culture and cultural confusions in general. Many people don't understand what they're doing because that's all they've ever known. That's all we've been taught. We've been taught about Christopher Columbus and taught that, he was great. He brought us to America and all this stuff. But little did we know, in his journal, he talks about slaves and how the Indians are the perfect slaves because they give, whatever you want. So I think that that's something that we were always taught, and that's cultural confusion of, okay, here's these people that gave, but we're going to take them in as slaves. But we weren't taught that. So, but yeah, that was pretty much kind of the gist, the main points of my presentation. I tried to hit up all the main points about like Indian, playing Indian, cowboys and Indians and whatnot, singing Red Face a little bit, cultural misappropriation, cultural confusion. But yeah, so this was a super fun paper to write. To learn about, I'm Native American myself. I'm part of the Muskogee Creek Nation. I do stuff with my tribe all the time, so I'm not a ton of Indian, but I am more than a lot of people. The Indians have been there for me since I was born. So yeah, it's really cool to take this class and to research and learn a little bit about my heritage. And also nice because now I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, times that I've been like discriminated against because of the misappropriation and the cultural confusion that goes on about my own heritage. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to figure out how to do a PowerPoint and share it and talk during it. I hope my pictures were okay during it. Let me know if I need to attach my pictures elsewhere and I'll try to do that. So thank you.